Hey, my loves, it's
Voila.
your girl Corey Love here of the Corey Love Show. I have a very special show tonight where we're going to be speaking about the current situation with gun violence in the United States. I have two very special guests with me tonight. Curtis of Laugh World's Kids Boutique, and he's also an author. I'll let him briefly introduce himself. And I also have Shanti of Shanti Fuge Journals out of Houston, Texas, and Curtis is out of Jacksonville. So, Curtis, go ahead and give them a quick introduction of yourself.
Hello, I'm Curtis Brown. I am the author of I Lost My Laugh series. Like she said, I have 3 books, and unfortunately, at these sad times, one is a bereavement book that I wrote, explaining loss of life to kids. I'm also a business owner. I have my own brick and mortar children's clothing store in the Orange Park Mall in Jacksonville. Well, outside of Jacksonville.
Your turn, Shanti.
Hello, my name is Shanti Refuge, and I am also an author. I actually create self care guided journals to help people help themselves heal from emotional, mental, physical, and financial issues. And unfortunately, I have a journal for grief. So, as a form of dealing with grief. So,
Yes.
that's all about
So,
me.
and it's very, it's just so sad that they had to write books about grief. I mean, we all know death is inevitable.
Yes.
However, it's just a way that our youth are leaving this earth, unfortunately. So that's one of the reasons why we're here to talk tonight about the most current shootings, well, mass shooting that happened at Robb Elementary and also in Buffalo, New York. So Curtis asked me to go live about it because I have the platform. And thank you to all of those that are tuning in on YouTube Live. Do me a favor and share this out with your audience as well. And so I just want to ask you guys, how do you, I don't want to say how do you feel because of course we're all heavy hearted about what's happening, but let's talk about the Robb Elementary situation with the young man who was 18 years old that went into an elementary school, which these babies are, maybe between 4 years old and 10 to 11 years old. I have a question. I mean, he had access to rifles. He went into an elementary school and killed, I believe it's up to 14 people now. What are your thoughts on that, Curtis?
He is actually 21 people. It's 19 kids and 2 adults.
Oh, I missed
So
that one. Woo.
yeah, so he's devastated, just a whole community and really just put a lot of anguish on the world.
Yes.
Um, how I feel about it, I'm not first. It's a lot of people that say, they're numb to a lot of things, and this is one of them things I'll never be numb to. Um, Anybody that targets kids and especially little kids.
Mm-hmm.
With everything I do, I surround my whole life and work around doing things for kids and helping and trying to be a mentor, just trying to be a good person out here
Mm-hmm.
to guide them the right way. And, you know, I try to catch the teenagers around this time
Mm-hmm.
because that's when they seem the most trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, where did it go wrong with him?
Yeah.
That is my biggest that is one of my main concerns because people always like, yo, he's evil, the coward, this and that. But we forget he's a child himself. He just turned 18.
Yes.
He just turned 18.
Yes.
So and a parent and a family and all were saying like he's so quiet and he was quiet. He kept why are you not talking?
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong if you're not talking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if your kids standoffish or they never talk. No, they talk to somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently, this young man was talking to somebody on the other side of the world, letting them know everything that he was gonna do. And as
Right.
far as the rifle and being able, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have an assault rifle. I have an
Mm-hmm.
AR. This is how easy it is to get an AR. I went and bought my AR, I had the wrong, I had the ID with the wrong address on it.
Mm-hmm.
I told them that this is not my current address. I can go change my license and do everything and come back. They told me, no, it's fine. The next time you come buy a weapon, just please bring your updated ID. That's what I was told.
So anything happened, it doesn't even trace back to you because
They
you
don't
don't have
even
the
trace
right
back.
address.
I could have just for exactly.
It's easy.
It's easy. It was that easy.
It's
Not
easy.
not paid the money, gave them a copy of an ID that could have been fake, all they know, and
Right.
they just said, okay,
Right. Okay.
that was it. You
Okay.
take a 15-minute evaluation on the kiosk that nobody's watching you. You literally could sit there and press. They ask you, are you been mentally ill? Well, am I going to tell you
Am
if
I
I'm
gonna
mentally
say
ill?
yeah, right.
No. So it for this young man to be able to get those type of weapons and there is no background check to it is very disturbing. Now, people always talk about some, taking their guns away and no, it's not about that. I
Mm-hmm.
believe you should be 21 across the board to get any type of weapon, especially an assault rifle and a gun, any type of firearm. I that's my just belief in it.
And Shanti, I'll let you go.
um, I would have to 1000% agree because if it's easy where you are, it's even easier here in Texas. It is
Mm-hmm.
very easy.
Easy.
Very easy. And
Mm.
then now we don't have, we used to have a license to carry here, and now we don't. It's like
Yeah.
open carry. So
Yeah,
yeah, anybody can get a gun.
they're trying to open carry in Florida.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what
I know.
DeSantis said. Before he leaves, he's gonna make it open carry.
And because of those laws like that, it makes people, not everybody, but I can understand how it would make people, oh, well, let me go get a gun then. I mean, I have three guns, but I don't wave them around, you know.
Right.
I
Right.
use it for the purpose that is used for, and thank God I have never had to use it, and I hope to never have to use it.
Use it. Right.
So
But if
I'm
I need
looking
to,
at
I
the
will.
comments. Yeah, someone said, so anytime, okay, I agree. He says, anytime you remove the presence of God, there is no covering. Why have we removed prayer in schools? Praying in
Yes.
schools. Our
I
educational and
agree.
judicial system is and prison system is a joke. Prayer is definitely needed back in the system. Train up a child in the way, and we better get our guns right together before Trump or DeSantis gets in office. Now, it's funny that he says that because I really truly believe DeSantis will probably be next. And I don't know how. I don't do politics like that, but the way that things are going, the way that they're making some rules, it's not going to get any easier for us. And it's very,
No.
very scary. Like Shanti said, we also have guns too. We've taught our children how to use them, but for the purpose that is neat to protect yourself in the event of whatever. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Curtis said how easy it is, how easy it was for him. And to me, that is so scary because
Yes.
obviously his mental capacity was not there to
No.
know what to do the right way.
Right. Right.
Right now,
Right.
Shanti, Curtis also said something. What was happening with him prior to him, or we should say, leading up to what he did and why he did it? Right now,
Right.
you write journals. You have different journals for different reasons, which is really amazing to me because you don't just want to write
Yes.
in a journal. It could be about boyfriends, girlfriend, and your problem is with your children. So I love that you have for journals for different things.
Right.
What would be something utilized in one of your journals because he was dealing with whatever you would suggest?
The Pack-a-Light journal, unpacking baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he had some kind of baggage that
Yeah,
he was not talking about. I mean,
yeah.
we all have baggage and we all handle it in different ways. And the way and what he did was a choice, whether he was in his right mind or not. Everybody has a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And he chose to disrupt this, not only Uvalde and the families and the children, but he disrupted the lives of the world basically,
Yeah.
Yes.
because
Yeah.
he wasn't stable. And
Right.
somebody, anybody who was close to him or around him should have seen this.
Mhm.
They should have known something. No, I'm sure, oh, he'd never do that. Sometimes, parents have that mentality about their child. My baby wouldn't do this.
Baby, I
Listen,
got four and I don't put none past no.
I don't
don't put
put
nothing,
nothing
nothing,
past nobody. I got a
nothing.
2-year-old over here, and I don't put nothing past her. So
She
it's
gonna go
like,
sneak them snacks.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
yeah.
So I mean,
But
but
that's
for
the
him to
thing.
even shoot his own grandmother,
Right, right.
where's his mom and daddy?
But see, look, that's the thing.
Why he
His
with them? Why he with grandma?
his his grandfather got on there and said that he was having problems with the mom at home. That's why he was there.
Hmm.
Then the mom is on the news saying, "Oh, I had a good relationship with him. My son wasn't a bad kid." And all.
Never.
But if you don't even know your son if he's not there with you,
Hmm.
Exactly.
how's he not a bad kid if he's not home?
Right.
How would
Something
you know
Right.
that?
something is wrong.
Yeah.
Something
Something
happened.
was going on.
And the grandfather, I felt so bad for him because I watched the grandfather, and the grandfather, he's at work all the time. You could tell he was like, my wife took him to Applebee's or something for his birthday. They went to get, I don't know, because that man is at work every day. He
Yeah.
said, I can't be around weapons because I'm a felon. I can't be around weapons. So I don't allow them in my house. So when you
Mm.
have, and we all know when there's grandparents gone, you just go with the wind. I know how my grandmother was.
Hmm.
My grandmother is a boys will be boys. So you come in the house and you run out the door just as quick as you come in the house. Hey, granny, love you. I'm going outside.
Play.
That's it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
when you're at home, there's more structure. Now we don't
Right.
know if he didn't want to follow the rules at home and he had
Right.
to leave, or we don't know what was going on. But
Yeah.
for him not to be home, there is like I said, there is a bigger issue
That
past,
signals something.
yeah,
Yeah.
past a speech impediment, has been bullied
Right.
for a speech
Exactly.
impediment. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And
Nope.
the granddad said he's a felon, right?
Yes.
And not to knock his lifestyle why or whatever his situation may be. And he said they can't be around him. So now here's another situation that could have happened. It could have been in the house where the grandpa is not supposed to be around it. They come in, he get busted, he goes to jail. He
Yeah.
it's like it's a whole lot of things that factors in, and
Yeah.
especially why was he with the grandparents? He had. I'm gonna assume that he had issues at home. Why he had to
Yeah.
leave the home? Maybe he have
Right.
siblings. He was bullying them because for you to go
Yeah.
into school and kill babies, we ain't got
Right.
nothing to do with nothing. Don't know you from nowhere. Have
Right.
we been told that he had siblings at the elementary school,
No,
or we don't know?
we don't know.
You
He
know,
all we know
so
is he barricaded himself in one classroom and started shooting. And it's just a very sad situation. I was talking with someone and they were talking about, you know, guns aren't the problem and all, but being being 18 and able to get an assault rifle is a serious problem.
it's a
And
problem.
then they said, well, you could be 18 to go in the military too. And it's true.
True.
You but I put how I'm feeling now is you got to be 21 across the whole board. You
Yeah.
need to be 21 to own a gun. You need to be 21 to go into the military unless there is a
Mm-hmm.
draft, unless there is
Hmm.
an act of war.
Hmm.
Because even coming out of high school at 17, 18, some 16, come out of high school and you throwing them into the military,
Yeah.
you're still
At
not
all.
mentally prepared. You're not
Exactly.
mentally capable,
At all.
especially if there's a war. You come out at 18 and then something happens 6 months down the line and now you're over there, you've never shot a gun, you've lived in a nice neighborhood, you don't know what's going on, and now you're over there and you're trained to go, and
Kill.
now you're trained basically you're trained to kill,
Yeah.
and then we expect you to come home and be all right. No,
Normal.
it's not,
Yeah.
because
Right.
what if you spend 2 years in there and you're out at 20, you still can't drink, you're now druggy, and you know how to use these weapons, you're messed up. 21 across the board. I'm not
Yeah.
saying people need
But
it.
you
They
can't be
can take
20.
people
You have to
guns.
be 21 to drink, but you can be
Yeah,
18 to get a gun and smoke cigarettes.
right.
You
21
know?
across the board.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's the first thing. That is the first thing because they're just pushing for background checks. Hell, if I just push buttons at a kiosk that just asked me, "Are you crazy?" and I said no, what good is a
I mean,
background check gonna do?
exactly. Who actually is crazy is going to say, yes, I'm crazy.
I'm I'm
Right?
good. No, you're not gonna say that. And
Look,
even a background check doesn't say that I've been in the psych ward for 2 years.
huh? Hey, it's funny you said that. A gentleman that when I was doing security, who I know is certified crazy, been
Hmm.
on a cycle. I've had to put hands on him and strap him down.
Mm.
Yeah.
He he came to me and showed me that he had his concealed weapon license. I looked at him and the first thing I said is, "How the hell did you get that?" And he said, "They gave it to me, doc. I got one."
And
And I
see,
just
I that's something that maybe should be added to into your background, your mental capacity.
yes, yes, but
Because
it's
we
HIPAA.
celebrate mental health month, we talk about it, and a lot of people deal with this. I mean, from the littlest things to the bigger things, like that may be something that should be added to our background. Some people don't
Yeah.
get admitted to a psych ward or anything of the sort. However, if they have happened to see a counselor, a
Yeah,
therapist, it should be
yeah.
added.
It should be added.
I really
Like,
think so.
why did you see him? Because
Right.
my parents died or something. I was going through a rough time with life or
Grief.
work or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Grief. Yeah, it's. I'm not saying that no one should own their weapons and all that. And that's the whole thing about it is that people not even paying attention to the kids and what happened. They're just like, they're gonna come get your guns. No, they're not gonna come get the guns. Once they're bought, they're bought. They're not finna
Yeah.
come door to
They're not going
door
to play
and
some
take
people.
people guns. No, we're
Mm-mm.
trying to stop them. We're trying to stop those whose kids like this, who a adolescent doesn't need a young man, and we know how young boys are. Young boys nowadays, I'm gonna say, are punks. They
Yeah.
don't want to fight. They're scared to.
Ain't
They're
no fist
afraid to get.
fight. I'm
They
gonna
don't
They're
want
shoot
to
afraid
your
to
beat
ass.
you
get
to your
punched.
face.
They think it's a game. They think it's a joke. They listen
Yeah.
to the music. They let this music hype them up. They let them send them off on dummy missions, thinking that they're tough, and they're not. Then they get a. Then you're 18 with a whole assault rifle, talking about anybody can do this and that, and then you have this happen, where a young man who comes up and upset about life or whatever,
Yeah.
or being bullied, or he can't bully people. So he goes in and kills a bunch of kids.
Babies.
A
Yeah.
Somebody
bunch of
talked about the
kids.
games too. What's
Yeah.
the game? GTA, I think.
Yes.
Someone talked
Yes.
about that. They showed a clip of what they're doing in the videos. Obviously, it's through controls, but
Yes.
I want to do this for real. Like, let me see how they.
Yes.
I mean, that's in essence, that's literally what he did.
I'm,
He went
I'm
into
gonna
a
have to.
building and he shot it up
Some
I'm gonna
people
have to
can't
change scenery.
decipher reality from fantasy.
because they're
And
a
those
child.
are the
They're
people who
children.
don't
Like,
need, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, as a he was a boy. He was a little boy.
a,
I don't care if he was
a
18 or
child.
not. And we all know that boys mature way slower than
Mm-hmm.
females.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
And what about, so now we're gonna segue to the Buffalo, New York,
mm-hmm.
which
Exactly.
leads um the biggest thing with that stands out to me is a man that saw the white man and said, "Oh, sorry." So he
Yeah.
was targeting blacks,
Yeah,
basically.
targeting
He,
black.
he literally targeted blacks.
And now the conspiracy theories are coming out that he was sent to do this,
He probably was.
Yeah.
right?
He probably
So
was.
listen, I do Instacart, and it's not even it's like I tell my kids, anything can happen, even in a house, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is scary. I can go to take the trash out and get killed just because somebody driving by and just feel like
Yeah.
shooting off the block.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, even when you come through that garage, lock the door because
Yes.
they can sell. If they come in the garage and that door is unlocked, they can come in the house, right? I don't care
Yeah.
how good of a neighborhood you think you live in. Remember, things that happen in your neighborhood aren't the people that's in your neighborhood that's doing it.
Doing it.
It come
Right.
from
Exactly.
outside your neighborhood, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just sad that that happened, and it was old people. The majority of them were old people.
Minding their
Exactly.
business, getting their groceries,
Just
and it's horrible. It's
and
absolutely
a person targets them and guns them down for no for racial whatever, just to do something. A lot of these people, look, a lot of these people are cowards,
Yeah.
100%. And I don't mean that they're cowards and afraid to get in a fight. They're cowards because they're afraid to even talk about the issues that they
That
have.
they have, right?
That is a coward. That was a cowardice act. If
Yeah.
you have something wrong with you, if
Hmm.
even if you don't like another race or anything, you sit down. There are plenty forums, there are plenty people that you can talk to. I've
yeah.
talked to people who I know were racist,
Hmm.
and still we still had several conversations because it's a boundary that we both know that is already a gray area. It's
Right.
already a thin line. So therefore, I know how you feel. Speak. What do you want to talk about? Because maybe it's something that you didn't understand that you were
Hmm.
taught back then,
Hmm.
or you were lied to back then, that I can clarify for you. Now,
Right.
some people are just, just I'm just gonna be
Ignorant
racist.
to the
Or
facts.
yes, but that shooting up there was just, that's coward. You could have asked whatever questions you could ask with this young man that killed all these kids. That's a
Hmm.
cowardice act.
Big
You
coward.
sitting there, you're upset because you were made fun of a speech impediment you've had your whole life.
Hmm.
Damn it, these kids y'all don't have thick skin.
But the kids, the
Yeah.
babies, they
I
had
grew up
nothing to
poor.
do with it. That's what kills me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, you a real punk because you went after little kids that can't defend themselves. Teachers can't
you
have guns in the school. So even if you
right,
walk in the class, I can't shoot you and protect the babies.
right.
You
And
know?
and and
And it's
and
like, I'm sorry, go
why
ahead,
didn't you
Shanti.
no
Oh.
why didn't you go after those who, because when they said he was bullied, and then they were like, well, no, he was
He was
actually the bully. He was being bullied when he was little and all. Because my first thing was, if he was being bullied and this pushed him to do that, y'all need to go find the bullies who bullied him and hold
see,
them
that's the
accountable
thing.
too.
He been holding on to that. But he
Exactly.
didn't go
It's an
after
excuse.
those who he was mad with. That's the problem.
Yeah,
And then the
yeah,
man, like you said, if you have a problem with race, going back to the Buffalo thing, me personally, if I feel like you're racist, I'm gonna avoid you. All that kiki and
yeah,
I'm just gonna avoid you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
If I have to work with you, I'm gonna speak with you and do what I gotta do and keep on moving. But like you said, come to me and say, hey, okay, you from the islands. Like when I first came to Florida, people always be like, yeah, I'll be wearing grass skirts. I thought I was so ignorant. That's
yeah.
TV, it's Tarzan, that's movies. Like, how old are you?
Exactly.
Where's your common sense? You know what I mean? But
But that's
some
ignorance.
people really, that's what they see,
That
that's what they
is
think.
that. But that's what they really think. I have
Right.
white friends. I'm in a
Hmm.
racial relationship.
Hmm.
I literally have white people who ask, like, because even before we get into conversation, when it starts to turn a race, I always tell them, I may be with a white woman, but understand I'm black
Right.
first. So whatever line you think you're gonna, it is not gonna happen.
Right.
So, but they really don't
They be asking you to say nigga.
know. They no, hell no. They already know.
Baby, we'll see him
You
on the news.
you already know. Don't ever. Don't even ever.
Yeah.
But it comes up to, why do you say it? Why
Right.
do y'all say it? If it's such a derogatory word and against you
Right.
and this and that, why? And so it's like you get into these conversations where they really don't know, because they hear what's on the news,
Yeah.
they see what's on TV or what's been taught to them.
They
And
think
so
it's
now that they have the opportunity to actually speak their mind. And then with us as blacks, we have to be open-minded also to
Not only that,
question.
not to cut you off, we have to cut them short.
Short. Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
allow them to do certain things because you see, don't
Yeah.
do that around me.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
where we have
And
to draw the line.
and laugh at it and think it's funny. But no,
Oh, that's just
but
Johnny. He being funny.
yeah,
No.
No.
because it's like you can't be around me saying, well, you down in my race, and then you say, well, not you, Curtis, because
Yeah.
you're cool. Oh no, hell no.
No.
Negative. It
No.
don't work like
It
it don't
applies
work
to all
like
of
that.
us.
It
Yeah.
applies to all of us.
Mhm.
So, but we have to be open-minded to actually want to educate
Mhm.
people who really want to know, who we know has been taught wrong. We're just like, oh no, these people are racist. This dude's racist. This person's racist, and all. Sometimes you have to be like, hey, what's your problem? What do you want to know?
Mhm.
What is your question? So we can clear
Yeah.
this up right now because
What's the
it's
issue?
going to turn bad. Exactly. It's going to turn bad. And as we see, these issues constantly come about.
Come up.
We see
They
from
do.
from history has shown us years and years that race is always going to be a motivator behind death and destruction.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing or what you have, somebody's always going to chalk it up when you get to the deeper roots. I was tired of the black people. I was tired of the white man. I was tired of this
Uh-huh.
and that.
And I want to jump, since we're on that, I want to jump to an article someone sent me. It says white supremacy is a poison and it's been allowed to fester and grow right in front of our eyes. And that is why we have to stop. But I also feel like we have an issue because we have problems with each other. So that's like
Exactly.
me,
Yes.
Shanti, you, and John hanging out, right? I'm telling Shanti, I cannot stand John. I don't like his wife. Mind you, we all the same race. We so against one another, and this is where we're not. People don't understand. Like if we don't really all this grand rising, my queen, and this and the other,
Yeah.
but we really,
Sis.
honestly, truly,
Yeah.
it's a lot of bull, and I don't care how nobody feels, nobody says about it. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna speak the fact. We
Everybody's
as a
not
race
queen.
on our own. Let me tell you something. One thing I like about gays.
Everybody's not king.
Let me tell you something about
You're
gay
right.
people. And when I tell you, I don't care what nobody say or do. I'm not gay. I don't have a problem with gays. I love them. You know why? Let me tell you something. They stick together more than
Yes,
black
we
people stick
do.
with
Yes,
black
we
people.
do.
Girl, I forgot you. I forgot you got a whole wife. Yes.
Look,
We do.
But I'm
black,
saying, like,
black,
seriously,
white, all of them stick together.
all
Yes, we
together.
do.
If one fighting, they all like.
Yeah.
But we don't do it as black people, and I feel like a lot of who kills the black boys in the hood? Ain't
But
the
look,
white boy coming in the hood?
so look, I'm glad you said that. Me and my two best friends, we always talk about, and he always say, my guy, he always say, this is why I can't get behind what black people do. And a lot of it is
I'm telling
I
you.
how for me to be racist, I had to have certain things from other races do things to me. Now I understand the systematic part of it. Yes, I'm not gonna get on here and be like, oh, I don't want nobody to be up in the comments about some, oh, he was a white girl, so he white. No, 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 no. I understand the systematic part of the racism. But where I'm from, any and every bad thing, every shot that's been shot at me, every gang that I've been jumped by, every person, the people that killed my dad, the people that killed my uncles, the people that killed my friends, my cousins, and them, none of them has ever been white. Not a one. Everything that has been done to me to traumatize me and to mess up my life has been done by my own people. So that's why it was always hard for me to sit back and say, well, yeah, the white man did this and the white man, well, wait a minute.
They didn't. Well, technically, in this day and age, they haven't done anything to you.
Yeah,
right.
And this exactly. And
you know
I understand the mentality behind it that yes,
Yeah.
we are screwed mentally
Yeah.
from years and years of slavery, to pin us against each other, the lights versus the darks, the field versus the house. I understand all that. But if we all know these things, we still, if we know that this was implemented back then during slavery times, even our kids know it, we still choose to do these things to each other.
Mhm.
So
And when does it
where
end though? Like it.
it it won't, it won't.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it will not end. The reason is because with us, this platform right here, when we talk in knowledge and talk about empowering, somebody is going to say, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what they talking about. Man, they trying to change the neighborhood. When I said I wanted to do things for the neighborhood when I was younger and all, my pop said, "Hey, it's gonna be somebody in that room that's gonna be like, hey, he's trying to do good in the neighborhood. He's trying to change
Trying to
everything
be
and
like
move
them.
drugs and all. He's trying to be better. We got to get rid of him. He's
Mhm.
got
Yeah.
to go.
And that's so
Look,
sad.
look
Yes.
at the leaders.
Yeah.
Look at Malcolm X and Martin
And
Luther
I'm
King and
looking
all.
for an
Look,
article that someone a guy shared. He's a what do they call it? They said that he's woke because he was talking
yeah,
about, I don't know if you guys realize, and they were bashing him. I can't find it. It's on Instagram. They said, okay, so basically he did a TikTok and he said 10 years ago on that day the shooting happened was the same. So 10 years ago in at Sandy Hook, there was a mass
yeah,
killing at an elementary school, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So now this is 10 years. 10 days before this mass shooting was the Buffalo. So he said 10, 10, 10. I don't know what it means, but
Yeah.
I'm listening to him and he's saying that it was set up. It's made to have happened that way, right? In the comments, when I tell you they, oh, these niggas always trying to be woke, da, 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 you know me, I'm a social media person. Like I went, I click on the comments, see who it is, who's saying what they're saying. I don't know what's his whole thing behind it, but basically what I got from it is he's saying that it was made to happen. Who knows why he did it, who did it, and the Buffalo one, he probably, his family got paid to do it, and that's why it was done. So it always goes back to a conspiracy theory where they're paid to do this,
Um,
their family is taken care of, it's set up that way
I
for
don't think that's the case with these kids. That kid was a Hispanic little kid.
they're still, he's
Um,
still minority.
yeah, he's a minority. It's just certain things that I now
Oh,
some of the conspiracies I may believe, I may
yeah,
like read into and be like, yeah, this one right here,
no.
I don't know. When it
Mm-mm.
comes to, because was it a conspiracy for the Columbine shooting? That wasn't a conspiracy. That was
Or the
four
shooting
kids.
in Florida
That
at that
or
school,
the shooting in Florida. Those were kids who were bullied and messed. Or the kid that
and they
was the
came back.
Chinese boy at Cho at the university. He
Yeah,
said that it was about the kids, the rich kids and this
yeah,
and that. These are like people who are bitter
yeah.
and who are hurt
Angry
and
and hurt.
who are not they're not being understood at home, and they're going through something deeper
And it
than
all
what
back to
than what
Yeah.
and they don't want to talk. When I used to get quiet, my mom be like, hey, no, what's wrong?
what's wrong,
Speak
right?
up.
And that's
Speak
the
up.
thing. My oldest, we do that with my girls. My oldest girl, she in that room a little too long with that door closed. What's going on? Why it's dark in
Yeah,
here? Let's go. Get out. We
yeah,
don't have
stand
that.
up. What's wrong? What is wrong? And then that right there is what the neighborhood is for too.
Mm-hmm.
And we're losing sight. Like everybody can, you don't talk to my kid.
Right.
When
Ooh.
before it used to be, hey, your son is doing such and such, and I'm in
Mhm.
trouble about five houses. I'm getting in trouble
Before you get
five
home.
houses down, even before I
Yeah.
get home.
Yeah.
And if I dare say something back, then oh yeah, you getting a whooping from what you did, from when you talking back to who you were talking to disrespecting the elders, to not listening. Oh yeah, I didn't get smacked about 5, 6 times before I
Yeah.
got the real whooping.
Not today.
Yeah.
You better don't say nothing. You better
Right.
not put your hands on my baby.
Yeah.
But look,
Nah.
y'all want the teachers to do stuff, but the teachers can't even say nothing to your kids.
You crazy? We can't say jack. But they gonna
You
tell they
can't
I
say
wanna go. I don't teach full time anymore. I substitute. And so I go in different schools And it's just literally yesterday I was in a middle school and I'm walking, going to the class with the children. They don't know I'm a sub. I had a backpack on, so they thought I was a child. Mind you, they're just as big as me now in middle school, right?
Yeah.
And when the boy saw me opening the door, he said, "Dang, there's a teacher. I thought she was a student." And the words that were coming out of their mouth. And I'm like, wait, because they were trying to set up a fight for that afternoon. So the girl got her, she said, "Can I use the phone?" I said, "You can step outside." She left the door cracked. She's telling her mom, "Oh, I'm about to beat her ass, this, and that, or whatever. And the mom said, "Do what you got to do." So I said, "Is your mom going to come to the school?" This is what I asked her when she came back in. She said, "No." She said, "Do what you got to do." I said, "Oh, okay." So then the dean called and they called her down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so her mom ain't going, but come to find out, the mom did call the school. It wasn't any, it was, so that mom, for me, I tip my hats off to her. Great. Because you told her that, but at the same time, you probably hung up and thought about it. Well, I don't want my child to be in trouble. Exactly. So that's a parent where you know you could talk to her. I feel like you'll be able to talk to her child. So I asked the girl, I said, why do you want to fire her? Why would you not avoid it? It's like the end of the school year. Like, it doesn't make sense. But this is the time they fight.
Yeah.
But we have to, as a community, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to them because the teacher didn't have any lesson plan. So I'm in there and I'm just conversing with, and a lot of these children are so angry. They're so angry. And I'm like, why y'all so mad? Why are you so mean? The boy put his hands on the girl. Why y'all so mad? But we have to think about it. Like you said earlier, it goes back to what was he going through at home? And granted, I'm not saying it's okay he went and killed those babies.
No,
it's not at
never,
all. But
never,
as a
never at
child,
all.
he had his own internal fight. He had his own internal problem. Like, he was going through it. He's so mad. He don't care who he took it on. And he did what he felt he needed to do. I don't know. I think that the cops killed him. He didn't kill himself. And I'm against violence unless it's necessary. But honestly, I would say, like, you kill all these babies. You don't need to. No, you don't need to be here. Like, why? What are you gonna do now? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? But he had his own issues going on, and this is why I, as an educator, always say we need to talk. I'm telling you, I always tell a story about my 15-year-old telling me, "Mom, you don't listen. You just be arguing. You just be fussing." Ever since she told me that, I listen. I be mad sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I be like, I don't even want to hear this. I run this. Y'all don't run nothing. That's just how we work. That's how they brought us up.
Yeah.
But look, my girlfriend said last night, though, we were talking about it in the demographic part of it. And I was just told her, I said, hey, shooting up schools, that's not a black people thing. I said, because one,
but it's not funny,
you don't
but
want,
it's really not.
I said, because you don't want,
they gonna fight,
said, one, you don't want your mama to be the one they call, talk about some your son that shot up at school. Yeah. Like I said, because, and she was like, but why is, I said, because we don't look at, we don't have that type of rage toward to shoot up a bunch of kids. We're not, I said, now, if it's something gang related or something like that, or you're targeting, I said, now these kids nowadays, they just do stupid stuff. They see a crowd and shoot. I say, but even them, you never will once see anybody run into school and shooting little kids. Like, you may get some held hostage or something. Ain't nobody in the black community that I have known of has went in.
And you're from Chicago, so you've seen the gangs of Shanti. You're from Texas. You're in Texas. Like, how is, I don't even know, like, how far are you from where this happened?
I'm far.
Okay, but it's just I just feel the heaviness in the air for me, and I'm way in Florida. Like, going into the school yesterday, I locked the door. I'm in the back of the school in a portable, and I'm like, oh my God, because you can't go on campus with your gun. You can't even have it in your car. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, I can't even imagine how those, like, you know how scary that is. Although they show us all these videos, you have code red, you got practice code red. It
means nothing.
Like the real thing.
It means
a
nothing.
Parent getting called to a
Mm.
I can't.
And that's what we like. They were talking about how they were detaining parents, or they were stop. You would have had to put me in handcuffs,
yeah.
tase me, do
Mhm.
whatever, because I'm getting in.
But
If
you
it's
heard what
if it's
happened
my
with the police, right?
what
I don't know if y'all heard. They said that I don't know the truth of it, but it was said that some of the police officers went into schools and got their children.
their children out. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
You're
that's crazy.
kidding.
yeah.
That's crazy.
They
But they
got
knew
their
what a shooter
children,
was.
and then they dealt with the
Well,
situation at hand.
you know what's crazy about that is I wouldn't know how to feel, because when you think I got to get home to my kids as an officer, and now your kid is in imminent danger, your first
That
instinct,
serve and protect went out the door. They're finna. I'm a
They're
parent now.
serving and protecting their own,
yes,
literally.
yes, it really. So it's like, do you fault them, or do you call them cowards? And because if it's you or me, you like, yo, I gotta get my baby. But I feel like this: if they knew what a shooter was, and
Right,
then they ran in there and did that, knowing that, no, I'm not for that.
right,
If they're like
Mhm.
17 classrooms down, and
yeah,
then you gonna run in talk about some, hey, you're no, 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 no,
yeah,
I'm not for that. But if you don't know where the shooter is, and you're like, oh my God, my baby,
yeah.
one thing, first things first, I always say a prayer. My prayer is, may God protect my kids from the
Yeah.
evils of the world. And
Mhm.
Lord, if the evils of the world happen to get them, may God protect the evils of the world from me, because I'm
Mhm.
going ballistic.
Yeah.
It's just it and just seeing that and hearing the stories that's coming out of this is really sad
Hmm.
all the way around. The
It
young
is.
man, we can, because we always say these kids are cowards, and they murderers, and they evil, and this and that. They didn't wake up evil.
Mm.
Right.
It's something that
Right.
happened along.
Right.
It's some help that could have been had. It's could have,
Hmm.
and no, I'm not giving them an excuse. I never give people excuses that's going out to
Right.
kill, that's going to kill senseless murderers, and
Right.
just, but it's something that happened
With
along
the
the way, where this boy felt like he had nowhere else to turn but
yeah,
to violence.
and that's
Mm.
sad.
Especially,
That's
and
sad.
that's sad. That's a
Very
sad
much so.
thing. When
So
it's
now,
sad that kids die.
where do we move forward? Like, how? I mean, every time this happens, and it's sad to say, we all want to run and say we want to do this, we want to do that, but it's every couple of years. Like this is, I think,
Mhm.
what week we in 21st week of the year, and there's been over 200 shootings and killing. Someone that was in a situation similar to this that actually got hurt. I asked her if it's too sensitive because I really wanted her to be on, but she said
Mhm.
it's too sensitive. That she's been
Mm.
crying ever since that happened because
Yeah.
she was in a, well, actually going into, and I've interviewed her before. It's on my YouTube, and she said it's like she's so hurt, like she's physically in pain because she's been crying so much because
Mhm.
it brought so much back for her. And she and I were talking, and she was saying that she don't know what can we do. It's hurtful that people just keep killing random people
Yeah,
Um,
because
on
they
the,
purpose.
can't
Like,
deal
so
with their
where
own
do we go
issues.
from here? Like, I personally don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, where to start. We can write our representatives, but unfortunately, our
That's
governor is implementing things that's not going to help this. So what do
exactly.
we do? We can't take guns to school. As an educator, you can't have your gun in your car.
you know what we do? We start. It starts at home. It starts in a community. It starts with us getting these kids together. It be so many other drug dealers that be, hey man, can you talk to the kids, man? I see what you be doing, and I tell them all, I can't do nothing if y'all gonna still be out here flashing y'all money and y'all jewels and everything in the face.
Mhm.
It they can listen to me until you pull up and they like, oh, where you get
Oh
that? And you're
yeah.
like, oh, I did this, I did. No, you have to sit them down and really say, hey, what is going on? What's wrong
Yeah.
with y'all? What is happening? What is happening to y'all? Why are y'all upset? Why do
Right.
y'all think this is a game? Why do you think this is a joke? Why do you think this is not funny? Why are you so serious? What is happening? Because even when your parents are around, if you're a latchkey kid and your parents work and all, and you don't have, you still have people. You still
Mm-hmm.
have people that are listen. And the problem is, we have to get back to where the community actually is listening to what is needed within ourselves,
From the
really, not just within our kids, but within ourselves.
from
Because you
the
gotta think, it's so many. That's why I wrote. The reason why I wrote my bereavement book is because I remember when my uncle passed, and my mom was so hurt behind it that
mm,
she was dealing with it, and she couldn't even understand. She couldn't help me to.
mm,
So if you're already dealing with pain, how you gonna help the child?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because you're going through it. So all you're telling the kid is, "Oh, it's gonna be all right." No, first off, I've lost somebody who I love, and now I'm watching somebody else who I love is
Hurt.
hurt.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and that's why I wrote the book, because it's really explaining loss of life, what happens, about the funeral. It's an open-ended book, so it's like certain things, certain parts of the book, when you read it, you ask your kids questions, and then at the back of it,
Mm,
I put notebook, hey, write about your feelings,
right.
because this is this is what we as people do. We as blacks
Yeah.
are taught to hide our pain, and
Yes,
it's all
Lord.
right, and
Yes.
cry in the dark, and especially men, cry in the
No,
dark or
you
you
better
don't
not.
die, or
Yeah.
you better not cry. But
And
how
Shanti,
can I
you
be sensitive?
and Shanti, you have journals. What do you say? What do you have to say? And those of you that are tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. We're just having a carefree conversation about the recent gun violence and just gun violence in general, and some of the things that we can do or try to do within our community at least. To start. So Shanti does have a lot of journals for different areas and arenas of things that they're going through. Curtis also has a book that he wrote that's dealing with grief and other books as well. I just want to hear from you, the audience. Drop it in the comments. What do you think? I see some people on here viewing. Just drop it in the comments. Let's see your thoughts and what we can do within our community. Shanti?
Like Curtis said, we were brought up. I know I was too. We didn't have expression.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. Come tell me about your day. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we need more of that in the home. And
Mm-hmm.
we can't blame the parents 100% for
Mm-hmm.
what their kids do, but there has to be some kind of open line of communication. A
Mm-hmm.
person needs to feel safe enough to be able to express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't feel safe to express themselves verbally, then they act out.
Yeah.
And you have to get to the root of why the person is acting out. So
Right.
apparently, he didn't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm just going, go blasting everybody who didn't do me nothing. I don't even know who they are." It's something behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody should have seen something. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
referring to the little boy and Uvalde.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody should have picked up on something,
Mm-hmm.
whether they are not talking at all or talking too
Mm-hmm.
much. When somebody
Yeah.
is not themselves,
Yeah.
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 and
And
not just say, "Oh, they're going through something. Oh, he'll get over it."
Right.
right,
Right. Listen.
right,
Ask.
that
Ask
part,
questions. If
Yes,
you
that
ask
part.
questions, if they're too quiet, if I have a student in my class that's a little too quiet, too much, I'm gonna pull them aside. Hey, let's have lunch. You
Yeah,
gotta be observing these things, especially as a parent, a grandparent, an educator. If you're seeing that child often, yeah, there's
yes,
you should know. You should, like you said, recognize
yeah. You
something
should be
that's
able to
happening that's
recognize
different
look,
behavior
for
changes.
sure. Yeah.
I learned with I have three girls, and I learned that even when they don't want to talk, I always find stuff that interests them.
Yes.
So if they're into Minecraft, one of my girlfriend's daughter, She's like my daughter also. 100%. She loves reading dragon books and she's love cats and all that. So I sit there and I'll be like, what's the book about? And
Yeah.
she just gets to opening up and I'm like, what? And even if I'm not interested,
Yeah.
she just, by the time we're done, she thinks I've read every
Every
chapter in
yeah.
every book in every
Mhm.
series. But that's
About
what,
that.
and the reason is because I want them to be able to engage with me and
Yeah.
be able to open up and talk about certain things. Because
Share their experience.
yeah, and if not me, go talk to your auntie.
Find
Go talk to
somebody.
Exactly.
somebody. I
Exactly.
talk to so many kids who I tell their parents. I like, hey, you should. I ain't gonna tell you everything he said because they not gonna tell me
Confiding in
everything.
you.
But
Right.
Right.
you need to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Right.
This is an issue
Yeah.
that you should pay attention to. And that's what we need to get to because everybody don't talk to my kid, don't say nothing to my kid, don't touch my
Right.
kid, don't you can't do that because now your kid is jeopardizing my kid
Right.
and everybody else's
Everybody
kid.
else's kid. Exactly.
Exactly. And like
Exactly.
you
And
said earlier too, Shanti, there's that not that communication. My children are 16 and 14, the younger ones. And I asked them, how was your day? Or they'll jump in the car now and talk, and I'll be like, oh, Lord. Sometimes I'll be tired. I'll listen. I don't want
Right.
to hear it. But I'm
Right.
listening. And they be like, you'll
Right.
never be listening. I'm listening. I hear you. That right there, what you said, we need to, and I'm not gonna say we sit and have dinner every night. We don't do that. I'm not
Right.
gonna lie.
Right.
But on Sundays, we try our best to make sure we do eat as a family. You know what I mean? So those are
Mhm.
some of the things we need to get back to. And I know that a lot of parents work hard. Some
Yeah.
parents have two jobs, so they can't
Yeah.
yeah,
do it. But I just want to thank you all so much. Those of you that are tuning in, those of you that tune in. If you're catching this replay, do me a favor. Make sure you follow my special guest tonight, Shanti. I don't know how I'm gonna type in y'all information, but I'll probably drop it in the description. Make sure
yeah.
you follow there and grab a journal. We all have something internal that we just want to write about. And Shanti gonna be mad that I said that I don't journal, but I just don't know. Like I used to have a diary and stuff, but it's not the same. I saw your post
It's
the other
not the
day.
same. Yes.
I know. And also, Curtis, make sure you follow him. And if you're in the Jacksonville, Duval area, make sure
Right.
you check out his brick and mortar store, which is for children.
Yeah.
It's a children clothing store, very authentic clothes. I love the difference. That's where a lot of things come into being different. He also has 3 books. Definitely, I'm gonna drop all their information in the description box. And of course, me, if you're not already, follow me or subscribe to my YouTube, The Corey Love Show. We'll be having more conversations like this with different guests. I'm gonna try to do it more often. I stopped a while. I'm supposed to come back in July. But Curtis asked me to do this, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that we
I
did.
called her. I called her and said, hey, you
Thank you,
gotta do it.
Curtis.
No problem. I said you
Thank
have to
you.
do this.
And
This
one
is
thing he
something
said
we
is that I
need.
have the platform, so I need to use it. But like I told
Yeah.
him, I'm very leery sometimes because people get offended and they feel a certain way. But sometimes, like he said, we just gotta speak. If they
Yes.
gonna block you and follow you, that's on them. But
Yeah.
you gotta
Right.
speak your
You
mind.
gotta do it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
tonight I'm wearing my Media Girls Network shirt. This is a
Right.
media network out of Atlanta, and I'm a media girl. And as you guys know,
Hey.
I'm really getting into this, and so I just want to thank y'all so much for your support, and I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out to be on here with me
No
tonight.
problem. Thank you for having
Anytime.
me. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Anytime.
Of course. Thank you so much. So guys, I can't see it on the screen. I'm looking at my phone. That's why I keep looking away, guys. To see the comments, and some people have said hi. Hi there.
Hello?
Thanks for tuning in. And they talked about the crooked politics,
Oh
politicians
yeah,
and cops. They talked
man.
about stand your ground law and the open carry is not good. And unfortunately, we won't see these comments after I drop it uploads to my YouTube. We won't see them. So, but we did touch base about the prayer in schools. It's like they're not gonna put that back. I already know that
They should. If y'all paid attention when they
they won't.
immediately when they took prayer out of school,
Oh yeah,
like a month after, there was a school shooting. I
but that's why
remember
we have to.
100%.
My students will tell you, I touched every one of my desks. It was a few students that came to my class early in noon. I touch every one of my desks. I walk around and I'll be touching my students, especially the ones that I know. Lord Jesus, let me pray for him. But if we
Yeah.
as ourselves do that, pray for our schools, pray for the
Yeah.
listen, pray right now for the custodian. Let me tell y'all
Yes,
Yes.
something.
Lord.
Custodians deal with them cheering.
I
They be
know.
helping part fights.
I
Okay.
know.
So
I
we
know.
have to pray for our schools.
But
Although it's not in the schools, we got to do it on our own
this
as
is
well.
the everybody gets a trophy time, and oh,
Mhm.
they don't pray to who we pray to, so we can't make them feel. No, you let them pray to who they pray to too.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't stop. You
And
don't
that's
stop it.
why it's, but you know where they put that in? That's the moment of silence.
Yeah.
They
Well,
don't
we
call
we
it
have to.
prayer, but that's
Guess
a
what?
moment of silence.
We have too
Just
many
prayer.
moments of silence
Yes, we
in
need to
this
pray.
nation. We have too many moments. It's
Praying
time
out
somebody
loud.
open their
I'm
mouth.
praying for
Yeah.
Curtis. I'm praying for Shanti.
Yeah.
Lord, let her pass this test today. Whatever's
Yeah.
going on in their home, we need to be.
Exactly.
You got to put it
Yeah.
out in the atmosphere,
You have to.
But
Exactly.
You have to.
my students knew. I tell them, I don't care who y'all pray to, but I'm going to pray to God, and we're going to pray today in this class.
Yeah.
Amen.
I did.
Amen.
I'm telling you, I was telling someone that I used to get in trouble, especially with the way that I taught, because you know your students. After a couple of weeks with them, you know them and you know what they need. And you just got to do what you got to do when you close that door. If you hear them turning them keys, you do the other thing. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you got to do what you got to do to work. Because I know Curtis, what he could do. I know he got to stand up. He can't sit down. He got ants in his
Yeah.
pen. He could stand up. His desk got to be in the back of the classroom. Shanti liked to write, so she could write after she finished her work. But you got to do my work first.
Yeah.
This is what
Right.
educators have to know. Like, you got to
Yeah.
observe your children. Know when they coming in quiet. They wearing these hoodies and they got the
I
everyday.
know.
No, you got to watch. I ain't
You
gonna say
gotta
I was
watch
no
it.
perfect teacher, but I was a damn good teacher. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. See, and
I
these
stick to
teachers
my
have to
schoolwork.
care too. Some of
Yeah.
them just
Teachers
don't
have to
care.
care.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
listen. Some of them just trying to get their student loans paid off. They tired.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother life.
That's a
Yeah.
whole nother topic. Politics, gun law, the politics,
Yeah.
and teachers and all, and yeah, that's a whole
Food
nother topic.
inflation. Listen,
Yeah, we'll
but
talk
again,
about that
I
one.
appreciate each and every one of y'all for
Thank
tuning
y'all.
in.
Thank you,
Thank you
Curtis.
so much.
Thank
Thank
So
you,
you, thank
Corey.
you.
we be in touch as always, everyone. Guidance, blessings, and love. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.